Okay. So, going into the meat and potatoes of this with the Space Invaders AR. It's a partnership between Square Enix Montreal and Taito. And Taito has various other mobile games out there, but Square Enix Montreal has been the one that has been using some of Square Enix's properties and then making mobile games out of it. And I looked up these games, and they're buy-to-play games. So it's basically $4.99, you buy the game, and then you don't have to pay anything afterwards, but you don't really get the chance to try it out for free. And just from the basis from that you can get from the pictures and everything, the games are basically puzzle games that you complete the little task, and you go from there.
Gotcha.
So you're on like a set move. You're on a move counter, and you can only move a certain amount of times, and you have to complete the mission in that allotted time. You get the storyline, you get everything else from there. Okay, it is doing stuff still. Good. And they have Hitman. Oh, and they also call them Hitman Go, Lara Croft Go, and Deus Machina Go. So basically they're just trying to capitalize on the whole Go name from Pokemon and getting other people to gravitate towards it. But with this partnership between the two companies, and with the partnership of these two companies coming together, they already have a basis and some fans that are going to automatically download their game just because it's their game or their property.
Right.
Space Invaders is a franchise that is full of nostalgia for tons of different generations and will very easily gravitate towards some of the older crowds as well. So they're definitely going to have that buy-in there, which, when it comes to an AR game, that if you were going to be traveling, a augmented reality game, if they are trying to base it off of, say, Pokemon Go, they have no basis for a map system. If you've ever played another game like Draconius Go, or pretty much any of the other games that came out around the same time as Pokemon Go, Garfield Go, there's a...
What? Was it Garfield Go? How did I miss that?
What? How did you miss that?
How did I miss that? I tried Draconius Go, but...
Yeah, a lot of things came out. Yeah, Garfield Go. You can look it up. Yeah.
First, I want to make sure this is real. Yeah, Space Invaders came out 20 years before Pokemon, so that's a much older franchise. Not nearly as successful, but...
Well, yeah. They have that name recognition, though, so... The... Found it?
It's real, and it's still... I guess it's still up.
Is it?
You just find treasure.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure if it was still up and running.
Garfield Go. Why?
Yeah. But a lot of these games that have a map system involved do not have the framework that Niantic has spent years crowdsourcing with their player base from.
Yeah.
So, games like Draconius Go and Minecraft Earth at that.
He looks terrible. That is an awful rendering.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Renders us speechless.
That rendered my insides gooey. I don't know what I was trying to do there. It didn't work out. The vitriol that I have to deal with.
What?
This woman. I'll tell you.
What did the cat do this time?
No. She threatened my life.
For what this time?
She was shaking her fist at me, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
If I end up with stab wounds, you know where they came from.
I think they've often said that love is waking up every day wanting to kill the person, but not actually doing it.
I mean, that's my family.
Pretty much, yeah. So, the map is really where it comes down to a lot of these games. And without the map, it makes it very difficult for certain players to take full advantage of the game and the properties.
Right.
Because quite often, if the game automatically generates points of interest throughout the world.
Spawn points, for example, yeah.
Then anyone that is playing the game that wants to get the most of this inventory, they're going to be going anywhere and everywhere to get it. Which means they're going to end up going into someone's yard, walking off a cliff, whole magnitude of things.
Yeah.
I felt like Minecraft Earth was kind of onto something where they would introduce a small point in augmented reality.
Oh, and you could kind of like interact inside of it?
Yes, and it created
it was cool.
Whatever it was, and you would go to it. Once it was created there, you would then go around with your phone and then tap like you were mining or doing
like
something
digging
like
and
that.
stuff. Yeah. It was. I liked it. It was kind of. It was different enough to where it wasn't like, oh, this is clearly just trying to cash in on someone else's success. But they shut that down, right? Or they're going to shut that down, right? Didn't they announce that they're shutting it down?
Yeah, they said they weren't moving forward with it. They weren't going
until
live
June or something,
because their resources were generated just randomly throughout the world, so they weren't able to get everything fully tested, and people probably got in trouble and got arrested for
it's
just
tough,
breaking
man.
lockdown.
Niantic's got it down with the. They built that base off that obscure, kind of points of interest driven, community backed, like community contributed.
Yeah, and that's exactly what you have to do, and the fastest way to do that is to get the players to do it for you.
Right, yeah.
And by getting the players to do it for you, you get the biggest pool of players that are actually going to be playing.
Yeah.
Which is where, if they execute this right, they could get those sources. When I initially saw it, I was thinking, okay, they're doing an exact one-for-one way that Niantic did it, where they have probably this little spaceship that's going to be shooting off things or defending against stuff. The same way that Ingress was, you would find the points of interest and then you would blow things up. They could be doing the same thing.
Yeah.
With Space Invaders, it's a top-down version. Ingress was a flat to the map and then expand outward.
Right.
So they could either make it so you create this AR space, you're scanning around this park, whatever, and then defending against attacks. And that could be how they start to make their safety spaces. So basically, you have your ship, and you're defending from Space Invaders directly above you. You blow up their ship falls down, and then it becomes an artifact in-game for them to then use as a augmented reality point of interest. They already have the information that this is a safe space that players can then navigate and play in, and then they slowly get their map built out into the world. If they market it the right way and have a good enough incentive system, they can definitely have players do that for free.
Right.
And they may also have just a simple checklist saying, is this space open and accessible to the rest of the world? If it is, it may become something later on. You have to take like maybe a sphere around that area, and then they have that as their point of interest that they can then add to it.
Yeah,
that's if
that's how their gameplay is.
Yeah.
It's racking my brain trying to figure out what they're going to do, but I imagine it's going to be something like the Pokemon Go raid system, maybe, where like, oh, there's something happening here, got to get there, got to defend.
See, that's the question, whether they just...
Yeah, I don't know.
I get the feeling that they're just overhyping it to an extent, and it's actually just going to be a puzzle game with augmented reality assets.
It's very possible.
Because, quite simply, if they keep to the system that they already had going on with the Lara Croft, Hitman, and Deus Machina...
Are these ones that came out? Did I miss these two, or they just announced them?
They're ones that have the name Go in them.
But are they like, they're out?
Yeah, they're out. You have to pay like $4.99 for them.
Oh, okay.
It's like $4.99.
I wouldn't, but
you have to, I think you have to search for it, either by the name or something along those lines. But it's basically a puzzle game, limited moves, and they could just do the same exact thing for this, except, okay, you're in an AR ship that then blows up things around you.
Right.
And there's no actual map involved, and there's no actual going that is going to happen. It's just we're just automatically incorporating it into the augmented reality system that Niantic has profited from. So it could have like basically no assets that we are familiar with in Pokemon Go and other Niantic games. Oh yeah, so but in the event that it actually is a map-based system where Square Enix and Taito are actually taking screenshots of these locations, and they're able to find parks and play areas that will be effectively used for players. Right there, that's them getting their crowdsourcing and finding ways for players to play, and then they can release a Final Fantasy version of a AR game. Because I think
I would like that.
There is like a Skyrim one. I never actually tried it yet.
Is that the Blades one? It's awful. It's not an AR game. It's just it's just not a good game.
Just a game that shows up with something in augmented reality space, and then shows the scenery around you.
No, it's not even. There's no augmentation to it. There's nothing. Yeah, it's just not good. It's very much like the old. What's the third one? Not before Oblivion. Redguard? No.
Oh.
It was like, well, anyway, one of those ones where it's like you're in this stance, take a step forward. Now you're in this area. Turn right, go this way. Whatever those like, they're almost like the text based, but like because I think the first one was Coliseum.
Okay, yeah.
Arena, not Coliseum. Daggerfall. Daggerfall was the one I'm thinking of, and then Redguard was before Oblivion. Yeah. So, but it's not compelling. It's very like, and it's much like, oh, gather up. Mm-hmm. This town's been destroyed. Oh no, I found wood in the dungeon.
Okay.
I'm gonna go.
It's like
build the blacksmith
Telltale games,
and it's gonna take 8 hours.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, it's bad. It's just it's very much like a cash grab type game.
Yeah. Okay.
Not a fan. Not a fan.
The Square Enix and the Taito partnership, that could be it's mainly a teaser. We'll see what actually becomes of it if they release any more information down the line. But we're looking forward to hearing and seeing what they actually have, because the competition is always welcome. to Niantic, because we've talked about it before that if Niantic is the cream of the crop, always at the top, and there's no competitors, they're not going to change anything.
Yeah, there's no reason to. There's no. Oh, there's someone out there doing this better than we are. We need to adjust what we're doing. Mm-hmm. It's just we're just going to do stuff, and if you don't like it, complain, and maybe we'll change it. But we can't even promise.
Competition breeds ingenuity, something like that. Basically,
that is the saying. It also doesn't. Competition also breeds copycat. Like, how many of the social medias now have the little, like, oh, look at this little 24-hour circle. Click on it. Like, hey, I'm doing this thing. It's gone in 24 hours. I think it's what Snapchat was the original, and it was. True. I think Instagram went next.
Yeah, the FOMO.
Twitter's got it now. Facebook has it. Like,
oh, right, the stories feature.
Yes,
stories, it's tweets. Yeah,
freaking everybody's got them now. So competition's not always necessarily great for that in those aspects.
True, yeah, but that's. What kind of does something similar where it's basically fast following. So you let them break the bank, testing things out and figuring what works, and then you can roll in and take care of things that you need to and see how it actually fits your business type.
Yeah.
And it's just how it's going to go with pretty much any business, anything, any ideas that go out are always going to have someone trying to change it up or rework things. And change it to their benefit.
True.
But on the tail end of Space Invaders AR...
Are you talking about another possible Space Invader?
Yes.